Anytime someone says that they actually like Giovanni, I'm always thinking, that's impossible. Giovanni's own clothing hates him. Like, look, even his own collar is trying to choke him out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Shadow Mewtwo Giovanni, that is right. They have now changed their lineups, all of the Team Go Rocket leaders, and there is actually a nerf that comes with that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We're going to be starting off with Machamp right here, just to get in a few hits before we switch out immediately over to Galarian Stunfisk right here. Galarian Stunfisk on this channel is like a god. We've shown it off before. It does crazy things. One thing that it can actually do very well against the Persian is it's kind of twofold. The main thing is going to be resisting that scratch attack. So this Persian right here does have scratch. That's going to be very different if the Persian has feint attack. So if the Persian has feint attack, you want to go with fighting types. If the Persian has scratch, you can use a steel type like this, a rock type. We've actually discussed this many times on this channel. There are a few types that are going to resist scratch. It's a normal type attack. We have covered this so extensively on this channel. There's actually a video just only about Giovanni's Persian. So I'll go ahead and probably link that in the description. Probably in the top pinned comment, it'll be an end screen, I'm sure. All of that good stuff. And you're going to see the other component, I guess, of our Galarian Stunfisk right here is that it has Muddy Water as its charge attack right now. That's not going to be type advantage. The good thing about it is the spammy quality of it. You can actually get it off with just a few mud shots, which is our fast attack right here that our Stunfisk has, the Galarian Stunfisk, of course. And you can see that we actually made the attack fall twice right there, 2 times in a row with that Muddy Water. That's really nice. Muddy Water does have a 30% chance of debuffing that opponent's attack, so it will decrease the attack on some of those Muddy Waters that you hit. So that is kind of best case scenario as much as you can do it. But anyway, again, the good thing is our Galarian Stunfisk right here, you don't even need to power it up all that much and it can resist that scratch attack. Go ahead and use your fighting type Pokemon, of course, if that Persian has feint attack, and go ahead and check out that video that we did if you still need more help, of course. So you can see actually the Persian is about to go down. I'll just make mention right here that if it's not obvious, on this channel I upload all sorts of Team Go Rocket leader fights, Giovanni fights, working combinations of how to defeat all of the Team Go Rocket leaders. Now that they've switched their teams, this is the first video that we've done so far for their new October lineups as of October 12th, 2020. This is actually my son's birthday today. He turns 3. Oh my god, it's crazy. We actually now can get a little bit of bonus damage right here as Giovanni sends out his new middle spot Pokemon, which is going to be Kangaskhan. I was actually really happy that that was the result. We are going to try to get some Muddy Waters off right now for, I guess, a few reasons. One, to get that bonus damage in, but we're hoping for that right there. We actually made its attack fall just then, so we'll go ahead and switch now that we have that switch. In the bottom right, it's on a cooldown or whatever. Every time you switch out, it's going to wait a set amount of time for that cooldown to finish cooling down. So our Machamp has Cross Chop. The advantage to that is you can just spam it off. You can get it charged up pretty quickly, especially when paired with Counter. That's our Machamp's fast attack, if that wasn't obvious. And so you can see we can get another Cross Chop off right here. If you had Dynamic Punch or something like that, you could probably just do one Dynamic Punch and take down the Kangaskhan. I will say the Team Go Rocket leaders, they have been nerfed. We'll be talking about this across some of my other videos. They also kind of gave them, I would say, like unevolved Pokemon in many of the circumstances. Not all of them, but at least their first spots, they're all going to be base level. I'm always sad when the Team Go Rocket leaders are nerfed or dragged down a little bit, but you guys see right here, the Shadow Mewtwo, this is what we all covet. This is what we're all going for. The great news about it is that, we're using Longeviton's account, and I didn't mention, of course, but Longeviton is a longtime friend of mine, a college professor. He was a groomsman in my wedding, all that good stuff. But anyway, we just lost our Machamp. It's obviously not going to be very effective at all against the Shadow Mewtwo, but we did not have our switch. It was still on cooldown. So what we actually did right there before sending in this Galarian Stunfisk against the Mewtwo was that we were actually waiting. You could see it at the top middle just a little while ago. We were waiting for that countdown timer to basically count down to about 2 or 1 and then throw in your Pokemon. And that actually, the purpose of that is that it gives you more time for that switch button down in the bottom right to be done with its cooldown. So that's great. It's a good little advantage because every time that you switch a Pokemon out, whether they feint or you do that manually switching with that button, the Team Go Rocket side is going to stand still for a decent amount of time. The same applies if you do a charge attack or if they do a charge attack. And so you see right here, Scizor, that's who we're going to switch out to now. We actually got another Muddy Water. Every single one of those Pokemon we hit with Muddy Water where it lowered their attack, so that was great. Scizor obviously going to be very good against Mewtwo, resists it like crazy, and takes it down. It's obviously going to do super effective damage, being that Mewtwo is weak to bug type attacks. And we did do an entire video, this was before GoFest, when it was just sort of in the rumor mill, you could say, about Shadow Mewtwo being a thing. I made a video about all sorts of counters that you could use, from optimized to not, so I'm sure we'll link that in the top comment, the description somewhere, maybe an end screen coming up, which speaking of end screens right here, you're gonna see those coming up pretty soon on screen, but look at this. The Shadow Mewtwo this time is an encounter actually once you beat Giovanni. At GoFest, they set it up where you would get the Shadow Mewtwo from research. That did give it an IV floor. In this case, if you have a Super Rocket Radar left over from last month, you could get another Shadow Mewtwo, so that's really gonna be to your advantage here. If you have multiple Super Rocket Radars, like Longeviton for example, he could go ahead and get another one if he wanted to. So go ahead, click those end screens on screen, and we'll be coming out with other Rocket videos, so I'll catch you over on one of them, and thanks for viewing.